Would you join me for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father, help us to be receptive to the thoughts and challenges that come to us through prayer, through the printed page, and from the world around us, and help our leaders to find the best solutions to the problems that we face. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, this is to announce that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. Also pursuant to the 2014 bylaws, rules, and regulations of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Burlington, time shall be set aside on the agenda for the receipt of public comments. Public comments will be received with respect to agenda items prior to board consideration of resolutions to be adopted. An additional opportunity for public comment will occur later in the meeting. Public comment shall be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Unused time may not be transferred to another speaker. Persons may speak once per public comment period. I direct the Deputy Clerk to enter into the minutes of this meeting, this public announcement, and the advance written notice of this meeting. Freeholder Bellegarde.
Here.
Freeholder Donnelly.
Here.
Freeholder Howard.
Here.
Freeholder Schwartz.
Here.
And Director Gargano.
Here. I'll be looking for a motion for the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of July 23rd, conference meeting of June 11th, and the conference meeting of June 23rd.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Schwartz, second by Freeholder Howarth. Questions or additions?
This is Amy. I did have a couple questions on the regular agenda of July 23rd, letter H, which involves the nomination and election to the Burlington County College Board of Trustees. There was a note there that Director Gargano had presented the clerk a letter for the record. I might have missed that. I don't know if that's anything we need more information on, or if I could just see a copy of it, but I just wasn't aware of that.
We'll get you a copy of it. I gave it to Paul, I think, on the
Before you left.
on the way out, but we'll definitely get you a copy of it.
Okay, that's great. And then the only other thing is, this wasn't noted in that section, but I did make some comments on the record about the process there. So I just wanted to note that.
All righty.
It's a comment. Vote.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Kendall?
It's the time to vote the minutes.
And any other?
That was it for me. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, thank you. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
June 23rd, abstained, Director.
At this point, we're moving on to public hearing on the Green Acres parcel in Willingboro, which is known as Willingboro Lakes. I will open up this public hearing on that, if anyone would have any comments about the proposed plan. Seeing none, I will close that public portion, and we will move on to item H. Tonight, I've asked the key players involved with the Workforce Development Initiative to provide us and the public with an update on the status of this important effort. Since its unveiling in January of this year, the Workforce Development Initiative has been a top priority of the Freeholder Board and for me. Through my professional experience as a union carpenter, I've seen firsthand the importance of matching job training and education to the specific and ever-evolving needs to our local businesses. The purpose of this initiative is to do just that, and to do it in a coordinated manner. This is truly an exciting and real opportunity. With that, I look forward to hearing a more detailed update on the progress being made. Anna?
Thank you so much, Freeholder Director. Just get ourselves up and situated. For those who don't know me, I'm Anna Piazzo, the Director of the County Department of Human Services, and I'm thrilled to be able to talk about kind of how we've gotten here and where we're going from here. A little over a year ago, really, a number of key participants really began to talk about this. Our county administrator had brought the president of the college, a number of staff who are involved in workforce development, and some community planning partners, our economic development and regional planning office, together to talk about what we're doing with workforce development and how we can be more effective in meeting the needs of businesses and aligning our training and education. So this has kind of gone through quite a while of planning and discussion as it became really one of the key goals of this administration this year. We've been thrilled to have Leah Arter come on board as the Director of Development at the college and really give this full attention and start to move it forward. So this is really, after a period of inventorying what had been sort of tossed around and what exists and what resources are available, this is really our update and our plan for moving forward with this initiative. We've really seen that the most important vision of this initiative is to identify and provide the skills, training, and education needed for the workforce of today and tomorrow. We're looking to do that by providing enhanced workforce training and educational services through intergovernmental relationships and new resources that are responsive to the needs of county businesses, that add value and competitiveness to the businesses that are operating in the county, and provide the workforce of today and tomorrow with employable skills in an ever-changing economy. This is done really by creating a unified workforce development plan which integrates all of our systems, by building strong partnerships with stakeholders and demonstrating a commitment to workforce development, creating an intergovernmental task force that will oversee the collaboration of the agencies that are involved and our various community partners, and forming an economic advisory panel to provide business and community input on the process and on the work, the day-to-day operations. We started this by looking at the landscape of our community partners and our stakeholders, and we see this as there's kind of a number of sectors involved in various responsibilities and relationships, but we divided it into really three main camps that inform what we do as we move forward. We feel that the Joint Base is a key partner in planning for businesses and employing folks in the community, and as a lead employer in our county. We're committed to working with them for educational development, for private-public partnerships as we move forward, and really aligning the needs of returning servicemen and women with the training that's available and the job opportunities. Our private sector partners are broadly defined. This includes employers, job seekers, entrepreneurs, underemployed folks, dislocated workers, nonprofits and community-based organizations, and our labor unions. So these folks, again, have their unique set of perspectives, and they are integral partners in how we move forward. We also have identified some of the statewide growing economic sectors, and there's some support in the state for working specifically with, for resources available in specific fields, advanced manufacturing in particular, financial services, healthcare, life sciences, retail, hospitality, and tourism, and technology and entrepreneurship. We've looked also at our local emerging industries where we have businesses that are really growing in leaps and bounds and kind of bucking some trends locally, have been bucking trends over the years. And we see them as important partners. Transportation, logistics, and distribution is highly represented in our area, even beyond what's its importance on the state level. And so we see that as a framework for planning and moving forward, and for training and targeted employment skills development. This is really the foundation on which all of our efforts stand from a government stakeholder's perspective. And from there, we really look at what the institutions are that are involved in this process. It's a little hard to read on the screen in detail, but we're looking at the county and it's through the efforts of our department, through the Human Services Department and the library system in particular, as providing resources for workforce development. The college has an existing network of varied resources through support for businesses as well as the more traditional training for students. The Institute of Technology and the Special Services School are also important institutions in this initiative, and the Bridge Commission and the Economic Development and Regional Planning Office are critical in guiding our efforts as we move forward. We're proposing really to have these institutions tied together through the efforts of a workforce development center that's spearheaded by the Burlington County College, and to have those efforts be overseen by an intergovernmental task force and an economic advisory panel. That oversight will consist of representation from the highest level of all of the institutions that are represented in this collaborative effort. So we're looking to have the interagency collaborations establish and grow the countywide workforce development initiative by creating and overseeing the efforts to develop the Workforce Development Center to provide policy direction and oversight to interagency cooperation, and really to ensure that all of the involved institutions prioritize the Workforce Development Initiative and bring this to the forefront. This will ensure timely action on economic advisory panel recommendations and oversight of the monitoring of benchmarks and the key performance indicators. Our economic advisory panel is really purposed to act as a liaison between the private sector and the Workforce Development Initiative. So this is the businesses, the stakeholders in the community providing feedback regarding what's needed there in their businesses, training and education needs and gaps. They are also purposed to give input to the Workforce Development Initiative so that we can respond to changing economic demands and looking forward into the trends that are developing in their specific industries. In terms of membership, we're looking at, we really want to make sure that there is continued attention to this in order to ensure that we're timely in our responses to the needs of the businesses as they are identified. We are suggesting that the freeholder director, county administrator, the college president, superintendent of the special services school and BCIT, and county library director be represented from all of the key institutions. We're looking also to have municipal representation to bring that local perspective to the oversight process, and then to have the staff involved in really carrying out these objectives at the highest level of our Human Services Department, Employment and Training, and the Development Office at the County College. As far as the Economic Advisory Panel, we're really looking to have business representation from each of the key industries that are growth sectors in our county. We also understand that the nonprofit and the joint base are key employers and have specific needs. The nonprofit industry is highly represented in a source of jobs and training needs, and also of economic growth in the area, as well as the joint base as an employer and an industry. So we want to make sure that they're represented as well in this oversight process, but that really their needs are being addressed on an ongoing basis as we move forward. I'm going to hand it over to Leah to talk a little bit more about what this means specifically.
So in order to meet our vision and our goals, we feel there are 5 main targets, and I'm just going to go through them quickly one at a time. And target 1 is identifying employment needs and engaging employers. And so we feel the Intergovernmental Task Force and the Economic Advisory Panel will help in this process of identifying employment needs and engaging employers. Many times at focus groups, you'll hear employers say they have people come in to interview, and new hires who don't have the skills they're looking for, or it's difficult to fill a position because they don't have the right certifications that may be really time needed at this time. And so we want to hear from these employers what their needs are, what their job training needs are, what their certification needs are, and what their degree needs are, to make sure we are developing our job training, our certification programs, and our degree programs throughout the county that are tailored to the growing economic and workforce needs. Another target we think is very important is to develop alongside of this is we have every agency and identified governmental agency across the board is doing really good workforce development work, really good job training, really good degree programs, really good career services. But what we'd like to build is avenues of communication so we can maximize the effectiveness of all this really good work being done in various, inside baseball term is in the various governmental silos. And so we want to create these pathways and these bridges so we're able to learn what each other is doing and learn how we can build on that. And as we learn that, it brings us to target 3. We can align our programs, we can align our policies so we're working together. We can maximize the access for for our community members, that it's easier when you go in one door, whether it be at the college or at the library or at BCIT, you're able to see your development and your possible career pathways. And as we do that, we'll be able to design education and training programs that are really tailored to the needs of employers in our region. And we think an important aspect, an important target to build into this, to keep it growing, to keep it vital, is to measure system changes and performance. And we feel that we need to build some measures of communication across agencies that will allow us to communicate and track not only student success, but job training success, employment success, and be able to track needs of employers and where they're going and what they're doing. So as part of the Workforce Development Initiative, we saw the need for the Workforce Development Center, as Anna said. And at the Workforce Development Center, we need to keep in mind that it's about coordination of function. It's not about centralization of individuals or offices to one geographic location. It's about building communication pathways, building collaboration, building alliances, so we can get the services that we're providing to more people and be able to do more with those services. So some of the aspects that we need to really coordinate through, as I said, is tracking labor data and student success. Be able to be more nimble in our response to growing employment changes. Is having our finger on the pulse of what's going on. And another thing, we really need to develop these communications back and forth across all agencies is to develop our partnerships with our community, to have vital industry advisory boards that are able to communicate across agencies. We'll be able to track business growth. We'll be able to see nonprofit organizations as part of our business community, because they are, as data shows, a growing employer. So another important aspect to workforce development is job training coordination. So across the screen here, we have we have a lot of workforce development training, a lot of workforce development opportunities, entrepreneurship opportunities for people to start up businesses, for people to gain education, for people to gain skills. You can go to the county library has a business librarian with a whole toolbox of resources for job seekers, for business owners, for entrepreneurs, for people who are thinking about starting up a business. The Workforce Investment Board has a whole toolbox of resources that are purposed for job training for individuals and being able to match employers with skilled workers. The corporate college at the Burlington County College, a large portion of what they do, what the corporate college does is provide job training for incumbent workers and unemployed workers looking to re-enter the job market. We have nonprofit partners who partner with our various agencies and provide services for us, and it's important to include them in this communication process so they're able to reach more people. And we have BCIT, the Institute of Technology and Special Services School, that as we develop, it's important we see to have to reach students earlier and earlier, that they're at this vocational institute, they pick a major in their freshman year, and so to help them see a career pathway of where they can go with their career majors is an important part of workforce development. And we have adult basic education resources that we can that are going on in various agencies that we can coordinate better. And this all leads down into coordination of mentoring, coordination of internships, developing of apprenticeships, registered apprenticeships and otherwise, which then funnel into degree programs offered at BCC. And then alongside of all this job training and education, we have career and employment services coordination, which we have a lot of career services in various locations throughout the county. They need to remain there. We just need to be able to coordinate them better, so when you walk in one door, you'll get the same answer as if you walk in another door. If you walk in the door at the one-stop center, or if you walk in the door at BCC's career services, you'll be able to have access to the same resources. And so we can be more customer service friendly. And we can do part of this through building a career builder website that every agency will have access to, our resources, and that will also help us be of service to JBMDL, because they're expecting a 13% increase in servicemen and women coming through there as they demobilize and go back into civilian life. And they're going to be looking for training, they're going to be looking for jobs, they're going to be looking for resources. And that leads to another important function for workforce development, and that is the coordination of workforce development grants. We have many grant opportunities. We have many grants in place currently. We're doing great work, and through our collaboration, coordination, we can apply for some even more grant opportunities to be able to do more work and be able to grow our services and our resources for our residents. So to look at this and the processing of all these functions, we have the Intergovernmental Task Force and Economic Advisory Panel, and that will provide the kind of oversight and the policy direction to be able to develop these coordination of efforts and collaboration. So to look at the functions in the kind of point by point here at the Workforce Development Center, we're looking to build employment service coordination, career service coordination, workforce grant collaboration, job training, mentoring, internship, and apprenticeship coordination. And we also are looking at the policy functions of the Workforce Investment Board and what they are and how we can spread those policy functions out and make sure we're reaching as many people as possible. We have business and community development, building partnerships and learning what employment needs are and what employer needs are. And we talk about tracking labor data and building a database. We have some resources currently in use that we can spread across agencies to do a better job tracking. So I'm going to hand this back to Anna to kind of talk about the next steps.
Thank you, Leah. And this is really where do we go from here, and how do we turn this into something that looks different from what you see today? It begins with creating an intergovernmental task force to oversee this operation, and also repurposing the Workforce Investment Board to form to serve as the economic advisory panel and to have industry-specific task groups that will oversee many of the advisory boards and integrate the advisory boards that function across our institutions. And then all that is to operationalize the Workforce Development Center as a point of access and really the nucleus for employment and training and business services and workforce development across the county. What's been going on and what will continue to grow under this initiative and really be enhanced is some of these kind of immediate projects. We have the development of youth drop-in centers right now that we're targeting services to at-risk, underserved communities where we have high unemployment rates among young adults and in some cases low high school graduation rates. And we're really looking at really investing in the workforce of the future through these youth one-stop programs where folks can come in and get access to comprehensive services that will be provided through our network of partners, but also specific coaching, mentoring, oversight, and direction. We're looking to coordinate the career services and the job search tools that are available across our institutions. We're looking at points of access and defining and describing resources through a revised through our website and through the resources that are available to communicate what's happening, so people can go for services versus what does this institution give me. They can get very specifically get their needs met as they look toward enhancing their career skills. We're looking also at integration of services for target populations. Here we're really talking about veterans and folks who are demobilizing from military service. We're looking at returning citizens, folks who are re-entering into the community from various institutions, folks with disabilities, and youth who are at risk. One great example of really how we're targeting some specific services, we have some of our partners here to talk a little further about our apprenticeship program coordination. We're really looking at industry-specific skill development, building folks who are ready to take on professional roles in various communities. We've begun to work with an accounting firm, Rotolo and Spiewak, who's had a very innovative student working professionals program where they've really been building the leaders and the business leaders and the professionals of the future through their mentoring and apprenticeship program, and they'll talk a little bit more about that. But all of this is tied together through the communication and branding. We're really, doing everything we can to to revamp our materials, that the brochures that are in place, the websites that are available, the job search tools to make them as user-friendly as possible, so that people can, no matter what point of access you walk into, you can get connected into the resources that are available and will help get your needs met, whether you are a business who is looking to adapt to changing economic demands, or you are an individual who just needs your next job or needs a career ladder that ties it all together. So we're thankful to have folks here from the Student Working Professional Program, and I'm going to ask Dan Rotolo to talk a little bit about what this really means on the ground as we move forward.
Great, thank you. Yes, my name is Dan Rotolo. I'm a social entrepreneur with a specialty in accounting. And I've been in business in Mount Laurel for 20 years on Hartford Road and Route 38. And really what our program started out was as an internship, an accounting internship program 20 years ago. And it's really grown over the years to where really now it's a lot more than that. We've had over 200 students who have been in our program. And not only do we teach them what you would call the real world experience of being out there, but we also teach them the importance about being socially responsible and giving back to their community. One of the projects that our students got involved with was saving the Rancocas Nature Center. Our students got involved not only from the marketing side, but also the financial side, and helped that. And we've developed this program. It's really came out to be a creation of a nonprofit organization that's called Student Working Professionals. And it's really, the mission is really to restore what we call the American dream for the youth. I mean, we all know what the situation is right now for anyone who's trying to get ahead. So what Student Working Professionals really is doing now is our business model says that if we start with juniors in high school, and if they show initiative through our mentoring program, through our alumni group, and through the 20 years of experience that we've had, that we can guarantee them that they would be able to graduate college with no student debt, be socially responsible, give back to their community, and have 6 years of practical work experience. They do everything from mentoring each other and developing through the program. And it's really expanded to not only accounting, we do all areas of business, marketing, finance, human resources, and it's really a program that we're really looking forward to working with the college and workforce development board for. But I would like to, if you don't mind, just turn it over to one of our students, and you can hear from them as far as the experience. Thank you.
Hi. Okay, so my name's Brielle, and I'm currently 21, and I just graduated from Rome University down here, a little bit away, with an accounting and marketing major. And I actually knew that I had job offers a year prior to graduation. And that's a really great feeling, especially with this economy and everything going on. And I'm not going to preach about SWP, but student working professionals, the main idea behind that is just kind of students today are the stars of tomorrow. We are the future, and we need to develop those soft skills to be able to talk in front of board meetings and professionally dress, and basically everything. That's kind of what SWP is, and kind of the program as a whole. Oh, sorry, I'm like totally but yeah. So basically, just the major benefit is just helping students develop the professional skills they need, community involvement, just raising good people for the future. So if you have any questions, feel free to come up and ask me personally, or Dan, or anyone else who sees sitting over here. But yeah, thank you.
So we're thankful for the opportunity to present on what we've been working on, and we're looking forward to continuing these efforts.
Okay. Thank you. I want to thank you all for that informative presentation and for your efforts on this important initiative. Obviously, this is a detailed and well thought out start. Still, there is much more left to be done. The needs that we move forward with, expand our services to do it, must be done quickly and not be delayed. To that end, I am establishing tonight the intergovernmental task force outlined within this presentation. As Freeholder Director, I will personally serve as the chair of the task force. Other members will include the County Administrator, Paul Drayton, BCC Interim President, Dr. Spang, Superintendent Mano from BCIT and BCSSS, the Honorable Joe Malone as municipal representative, our county library director, Raj Nadas, our economic development and regional planning director, Mark Remza, workforce development initiative director, Leah Arter, our county human services director, Anna Pianzo, county employment and training division manager, Kelly West, and our county information technology director, Nick Bemke. Together, we will serve on this task force and will be responsible for expediting the initiative, ensuring that it receives top priority and eliminating any obstacles or red tape that it might face. I look forward to the continuing to update the public as we move forward and make tangible progress for the residents of Burlington County. Thank you again. Great job. At this point, we'll move on to our public comment on the agenda items. There are two parts of our public comment. There will be agenda items, this first part, and at the end, at the meeting, we'll be able to talk about anything you'd like. Mr. Mananas, are you end?
I'll wait.
Okay, sir. Mr. Lopez? Right now? Okay.
I got total 8 questions. The first 6 agenda. The first one is, it took me 2 days to read that, the previous one.
Okay.
And I said, it's really complicated. You could explain the first 6 one?
Number 6?
No, the first 6.
1 through 6.
Yeah.
All right. 1 is the payment of the bills, is the bills for the county. That's your standard process that every county government does. The other one, number 2, is the resolution authorizing award and rejection of contracts. That's the contracts that the things that we're doing, the services that we provide, the businesses we're bringing in, whether we're buying paper, we're using with any other type of a service. They're the contracts that we would be awarding. The resolution to cancel the $291,000 basically is an accounting change by the state of New Jersey. The $291,000 was an amount that was given to us before. They adjusted their amount down to $250,000, so we're just making that, part of the public record. Number 4, this is for this advertised for bid for snow removal for the county roads. Number 5, this is a software module for purchasing, it's for our New Jersey Cooperative Purchasing Program, under the New Jersey program. It's basically sets up the it's $180,000 to a vendor that's going to be using for our records and things like that for our software programs. And number 6 is a internet contract for 3 years with, I think it's Verizon, and that's basically the amount that we're going to pay a month for internet access.
Not much?
Yes, sir.
Is it what?
It's a,
service?
well, basically that's monthly for a 3-year. When you sit back and you look at all the internet uses that we have throughout county government, it's large. So it's a number that has been worked on and been knocked down and dealt with over the years, and it's a pretty competitive number.
That's the same thing as the Wi-Fi for here?
It's for here, it's everywhere. It's all county facilities.
And I got 15, to clarify, and 29.
What this is when the county goes into the farmland preservation program and makes an offer to a willing farmer for their land, we are required to do a series of appraisals. Those appraisals must meet the price, the value that we came up with and offered the farmer. It's a statutory requirement. We can't do the appraisals in-house as we would be biased, so we send the appraisals out to various vendors to perform these on a daily basis, and they verify that the amount that we had offered the farmer is in fact a legitimate amount.
29, Jerome, you want to comment on that, since it's dealing with the single stream? See change order?
Change order, yeah, it's a $71,000 change order to the construction contract for the single stream facility. Essentially, we built, we're in the process of building 3 pits in the core, with 3 basements. We didn't know that the water table was that high in that area, so we had to waterproof those pits. It was not anticipated in the original plan.
have you said you can still bring a shipment from California after that meeting for the freeholders?
Pardon me?
It's here. It's here.
Oh, you see it?
Material's getting installed, right, Jerome?
Yep. Yeah, they're about 25% installed this time.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else on agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move on to resolutions. I'd like to make a motion to approve items 1 through 8 by unanimous consent.
So moved.
Motion by Gargano, second by Howard. Questions on any of the items?
I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Are you ready for them?
Yes, we are. Your turn.
Okay, thank you. On number 1, the bills, I have a few questions, because there were 165 pages of bills for tonight's meeting, so bear with me. Mr. Troy, starting on page 2, Acacia Financial, there was an entry there for $11,733.61 for Burlington County College. Can you tell me what that is?
Yes, Freeholder, you can hear me, yes?
Yes, I can, thank you.
This is the financial services that was provided for us when we were selling the college bonds recently.
Okay. Page 6. There were a couple of entries for Limo engineering on page 6, but I only had a question with regard to the one that was marked general engineering for $973.48. Can you be a little bit more specific about what that was?
I can freehold it. This is an expenditure for solid waste, and Jerome is here, but I have here for low-level piping plan, Jerome.
Yeah,
Okay.
would you like more details than that?
No, I think that's fine. Thank you. On page 20, there were a number of entries for Bowman and Company. The questions I had were related to a couple of entries for professional services, administrative costs. There was one for $600.
For the county college, Edward, it's a third
I think
block
there might have been
down.
one above the county college, and then there were a couple of entries for the county college that I also had questions on.
I have
One was $600 and one was $7,500.
I had to freehold it. The $600 was, they had to prepare IRS Form 8038-G, which had to do with tax exempt bonds and whatnot, and this was the payment for doing that.
Okay, and so for the county college entries, we're responsible for paying that, not the college?
We paid it because it was our bond issue.
Okay, oh, okay, great. Page 22 and 23, there was an entry for Burchard Forms for $5,509.25. Can you tell me what that was?
Freehold, this was for engineering. This is County Bridge C2-2 River Road in Burlington City.
Okay, great. Page 25, the Burlington County Bar Association, I have to recuse myself. Page 28, the Camden County College entry, I need to recuse myself. Next question I have is on page 80. Moser Consulting, there was an entry there for $11,267.42 for various capital improvements. Can you tell me with a little bit more detail about that entry?
Freehold, if that's under a general caption, but specifically that was for engineering. It was for the rehabilitation of the White Street Bridge D 4.108 in Mount Holland.
Okay, thank you. Page 97, Parker McKay, there was an entry for $23,429.74. The majority of it was for the Burlington County College. And then there was about $403 for some sort of administration fees. Can you just give me a little more detail about those?
There are bond counsel. That's what they were doing, the college
So
bonds,
that
yeah.
had to do with, okay,
Yeah.
great. And then the only other thing I have is page 160, YMCA, I need to recuse myself.
Okay.
So that's all I have for number 1. I did also have a question on number 3. If, Director, if you want me to move on to my question on number 3.
Yep, please do.
Okay, thank you. So I think that there was just a question about this from the public as well, but I just wanted a little bit more detail with regard to the change in the number here from $291,920 to $250,000. It sounds like that was just a change that was made by the state.
Yeah, that was, they basically changed the amount that was in the grant.
Okay, and will we still be able to accomplish what we need to do with the lesser amount?
Yes.
Okay, that's all the questions I have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other? All in favor?
Excuse me, I have to recuse myself from the part about Bowman. Everything else I will vote for.
Okay. All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Freeholder Donnelly.
Thank you, Director. At this time, I would move for unanimous consent of resolution items number 9 through 19.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Donnelly, second by Freeholder Howarth. Questions?
I just had a question on number 11. I know that this had previously been conferenced with the Taylor. Oh, do you mind if I speak with my question?
Yep, go right ahead.
Okay. So this is the Taylor Design Group relating to the park development for the Burlington County Fairgrounds and Smith Woods. Can we have a little bit of detail about what all that entails?
MP?
This contract entails design and construction management services for 2 new pavilions. One large pavilion at the fairgrounds that will serve as a rental facility for us. It'll also take the place of the dining tent at the farm fair. And the second is a new pavilion at Smith's Woods. And we have a lot of volume and a lot of requests for pavilion rental at Smith's Woods. And we feel that another pavilion would be welcomed by the public.
Thank you,
I
MP.
thought we were going to be looking into restrooms at the fairgrounds as part of this project.
Yes, after the presentation on the pavilions, the board gave us direction to move forward. So we will be coming back to you with more information on the cost to move that project forward.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so but Mayor Tapp, any part involving restrooms at the fairgrounds, that'll be separate.
Separate from this, that's correct.
Okay, okay. That's really kind of what I wanted clarification on, so, thank you.
Any other? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? Freeholder Howard?
Thank you, Director. This time I'd like to move for unanimous consent, resolutions number 20 through 30.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Howard, second by Freeholder Donnelly. Questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Freeholder Schwartz?
At this time, I'd like to move for unanimous consent, item number 31.
Second that.
Motion by Freeholder Schwartz, second by Freeholder Howarth. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Questions from the press?
I have a couple.
Okay.
Let's start with workforce development. When we last talked about this, there were plans for a job fair to help out the workers from that trucking company that filed bankruptcy. How is attendance in the job fair?
Well, actually, the job fair is in the process of still being processed. I think they have, what, have you done?
Yeah.
But there's 2 pieces. There's the job fair, but we're also in the process of setting up a task force to deal with the town and the company and try to work on bringing people there and to continue to help them with their work and to get these people working again. But if you guys want to give us a quick review on the...
Sure. We actually had a job fair at the Emergency Services Training Center for the folks targeting the employees who were who had lost their jobs from New Century. And there were over 30 employers represented. A number of folks were connected with new positions through that initiative. And the folks who we got information from continue to receive information on upcoming resources and trainings and opportunities for placement. But they're also getting information about the regularly scheduled broader industry-focused job fair that the county is hosting on September 19th. That's coming up, and that will be at the Burlington Center Mall. And that has over 90, I think, employers typically receive. We're still working on confirming who will be represented there, but it's much broader in terms of the industry focus, and there's opportunities to participate in that as well.
Do you know how many people attended that job fair?
The New Century, there were 132.
Also on workforce development, there was talk about helping Delango find an end user for the Dietz and Watson property. How's that going?
Well, that's one of the ones I was hitting on. We're in the process of setting that up right now and dealing with our internal people just to try to deal with our economic development, to try to bring some people into that mix. We're going to be sitting down with them real soon.
Okay. I have a couple more questions. Regarding the contract for Verizon for the internet use, how does that compare with previous contracts, price-wise?
Actually, it was a decrease in price. We were actually able to negotiate a better price.
All right, my next questions are about recycling, the change order for the single stream processing system. That would be Jerome.
Okay, my question is, I just want to make sure I understand. Pits are being created anyway and the water table interfered, or the pits are being created because of the water table situation?
The pits are being constructed, there's equipment that's, because of the building height, a lot of different reasons. Some equipment is ingressing to the floor. So these pits are being constructed to house equipment. So they dug the holes when they encountered the higher water table.
Okay, so it was because of the water table
Mhm.
that's making this work necessary. And will this work impact the September rollout date?
No.
And you said the work is 25% done,
Yeah, about 25% of the equipment has been
has been installed? All right, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
you.
At this point, we'll move on to public comment. Mr. Malanas?
Back here again, I came here a long time ago, tried to find a home for all souls district. I wanna know what we're doing. Are we getting ahead or anything? We got anything coming?
I know you came in a while back and you were talking about the hospitals and things like that.
No hospital.
No, but you were talking about how getting people medical care and things like that. And then, we're in the process of dealing with some of those issues, because we're seeing some of the things, I guess, with the VA and all, we're taking some hard looks at. At this point, we're gonna be opening up some conversations with the base, and, we'll have a conversation with them, what they're interested in is in your type of an idea, if they're willing to take a look at something like that.
Because what I need is not that much. Just a little place that I can meet with some of my people.
Understood.
And I know I came to this place in 1974. 99.9 of us that was in the war becoming cuckoo, they call them us cuckoo, and in Puerto Rico, anyone that was in the war, that's what they call them. And at that time, they don't want to listen to me. Now they find out all these people that was working for us, they find out that they was making a mistake and they fired a few people there. And if he's talking, we're talking about over 30 years ago or more. When we came back, nobody cares about us. Now, what I want is just a little place, any county. Actually, every town should have a little place that the people can get together, not to get drunk, just to bring the problem they have. And the only people that can talk to the people that need help is people like me, a sergeant. General, we got no time for people like me because they count on the money. And the army are the same way. I'm just hoping that you can help me to accomplish this before I die. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Lopez?
I just got several comments. One is our best in peace for our actor Robert Manning. It's a tragedy that happened. And another concern is the Burlington County health department is ready to receive if there was any patients that are like a coronavirus?
I think that between our health departments and our emergency management, they're basically training and involved with those types of plans at all times.
Are they really sure that they're?
I think we're confident that, I'm confident that our people are very, very well trained, and if there was that type of an emergency, we would react very well.
Okay, and tomorrow's, NBA meeting at my party, if anybody wants to go. And, I'm working with all of the county residents to come this, Saturday to the Burlington Park for the grand opening. It's gonna start at 10 o'clock, 10 in the morning. And, it's surprising to see there for CFO, that is a matter for township manager. It's very shocking to figure that. Even for the that's why it's very shocking. And I'd like to use my committee to see the order right here again. And I appreciate it. Yes, it was kind of, interesting to go to buildings, like I said, 48 hours, go through it to the last page. The same night I came to the house, I stayed till 1 in the morning. I went to half of the page.
You want another copy?
I'll wait for it, but I appreciate it, and thank you for taking my comment and question.
Thank you, my friend. Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll move on to comments from freeholders. Freeholder Bellegarde?
I have nothing, but thank you.
Okay. Freeholder Schwartz?
Yes, I just want to remind everybody that this Sunday, if I get this right, the Willingboro Jazz Festival will be at, I believe it's, forgot the name of the park, was it? Mill Creek Park from 12 to 9, followed by fireworks. If you have never been, you are in for a great day of fun. And if you've been before, you'll have even more fun this year.
Freeholder Donlin?
Nothing, Director, I defer to you.
Freeholder Howard?
Thank you. Yes, Director. Tonight, I just want to announce that the Burlington County is going to be partnering with Tabernacle Baptist Church in Burlington Township. We're going to be collecting much-needed school supplies and backpacks for kids in Burlington County. And as an educator, I do know that some of the kids in the county cannot afford basic things to go to school with. They don't have things to carry their books in, get their homework home. Sometimes they don't have enough pens and paper. So we've got together, we've partnered with Tabernacle Baptist Church. We're putting on this drive. Backpacks and school supplies from kindergarten through high school, just to let you know. We'll be collecting them at sites in the county here. Eric, specifically, which areas?
11 throughout our county buildings and then in our library at the headquarters.
Okay, so, and if, there's gonna be a press release on this, but if you haven't want any more information, you can contact Eric, and he'll give you the phone number and or the website where you can go up and take a look at it, okay? So, hopefully, oh, by the way, there's going to be at Tabernacle Baptist Church on August the 23rd, I believe, they're going to have a back-to-school carnival type. So they'll probably also be collecting some things there as well. And we'll be able to soon after that get together and then distribute these items to kids throughout the county that are in need. Just wanted to spread the word.
Thank you, sir. At this point, I'd just like to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Freeholder Schwartz, second by Freeholder Howard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Are you sitting there, Dan?
Oh, I made this.